Hi guys, welcome back to the Misperception Podcast. I tell y'all I missed y'all every single time, but I'm gonna tell you a time and time again. Missed you. This is our 14th episode, and I'm super excited for for everybody that's here. But this past series and the little shorts that I created, we got a couple subscribers and a couple comments and a few likes. So give yourselves a round of applause. We're going to start sharing soon, right? Right? Okay. Anywho, welcome back to the Misperception Podcast. Y'all, we officially been doing this for almost 6 months. But as we are coming to an end of year, I'm feeling very compelled to talk to you guys about my journey. I feel like y'all got introduced to me with the faith in isolation episode. I was already through it, but it was in the midst of being connected to God, right? Being connected, being in that season, getting through that season. But I hadn't taken a minute to tell y'all my relationship with God prior to that, right? And although that journey is beautiful and it's necessary and it's a requirement for anybody that's living life on purpose and wanting to develop a relationship with God, we all have been in a space where for however long we were disconnected or we wasn't as deep in a relationship as we should have been, right? That's life. So everybody don't have that relationship. And even if you don't have a relationship with God, like a relationship that you would like to have, understand that is okay. And even the greatest figures and the people that's on these large platforms, once before they didn't have a relationship with God either. If you are at a starting point, don't be embarrassed about it. Don't be shameful about it, because everybody has been in that position before. And if you ask me honestly, that makes the best testimonies. That makes the greatest and most deeply profound testimonies when you can say, man, I didn't have a relationship at first. Man, I couldn't trust God at first. To know God is one thing. To experience God is another. So welcome to the episode that I have yet to title. In the beginning, I didn't have a relationship with God because I grew up in a religious household. And as spiritual as y'all know I am, and as spiritual as God created me, I grew up in a very religious household. And not they weren't strict. They wouldn't don't eat pork and all that crazy stuff. But we were forced to go to church. We were required to read biblical texts. We were required to stay awake at church. We were, we had to pray to the Christian God. Okay? We had to do those things. And this is no shade or nothing to how I was brought, but I'm trying to give y'all context. Because what we experience is what we know, right? What we are taught, that's all we know until we're able to spread our wings. For some of us, when we are taught one thing, we go our entire lives without challenging that, or just I ain't gonna practice it, but I ain't gonna learn nothing else either. That type of attitude. One of the biggest things that I disliked about religion is that fear tactic, that mentality oh, God is going to strike you down if you don't do this. Oh, if you sin this many times, you're going to hell. Or the concept of fearing God itself that scared me into submission. So yes, I would read what I could because I was very young. I would read what I could in the Bible. I would pray to who y'all told me to pray to because of those fear tactics. What is fearing God? Right? Before I went into my deep spiritual journey, I had to undo what it meant to fear God. I didn't want to follow God because I was afraid of him. How is God somebody we're supposed to love and fear? These are opposing emotions. I don't want to follow somebody because I'm afraid of them. That's not a true follower. That's not a loyal companion. That don't create a healthy relationship. So yeah, I'm gonna do what I'm told because I didn't want a whooping. But I didn't have a connection because of that. Deep down inside, I don't want to follow you because I'm afraid of you. I don't want to follow you because I might go to hell. It was that lack of a relationship that really caused me not to disown God, but not really practice anything. I'm just spiritually inclined to do what I want to do, and or otherwise. I've been called. God. Oh Lord. So I've literally had a moment with somebody, and I tell people I'm a spiritual being. I'm 26 years old, so I am comfortable in what I believe in now. I am a spiritual being who do not identify with any religion, and that is okay. But as a 13-year-old girl saying that to anybody, you best believe name calling came from it. People trying to cast me out as an atheist come from it. Trying to silence me, that even came from it. But God is literally in our makeup. However, the human being was constructed, God is intertwined and mingled all up in that. So it's in our DNA to believe in the Creator, to draw towards the Creator, to these instincts about, oh, that's good, that's not. All of this is connected to God. But to get back to the point, what does it mean to fear God if it's not to fear the fact that you might go to hell, you might not? People kissing ass to go to heaven, and you still ain't gonna go. You still not gonna go because that's not the relationship. You practicing these techniques. Oh, if I don't do this, I don't commit this sin, then I got a higher chance to go to heaven. If I don't commit this sin, I go higher. And you're trying to weight sin. What's this? What's that? But a lot of y'all, because of that practice, you might still not go because purpose and sin and all these things that we were taught control people and places fear and doubt in their heart. God is not doubt or fear. But y'all telling us to walk on this journey with God, but fear Him at the same time. Doubt this in the same time. Reject this at the same time. Temptation, sin, and all of these words that you're throwing at the masses to do what? Control them? Put them in submission? Everything that we know about religion is taught from a westernized perspective. So yeah, I grew up in a space like that, even though my body and my mind is very spiritual. Before isolation, I had to think about that again. Think about how I was brought and how that fear kind of made me reject God in a way, or try to avoid Him, try to hide from God. Because I'm like, it just don't go together. I'm 13, I'm 14. It's so much I can cognitively do to understand that. So for a while, it was nothing. Like I didn't technically do anything spiritually. I was in a state of just not even oblivion, but just going day by day, just letting the days pass until I couldn't anymore. I'm storing this emotion, storing this confusion, storing this doubt, storing this fear, and I'm just continuing on through life. When I make it to God and I say, God, fix me, or you finna have some company, God made me revisit what I went through in childhood. As an adult, I hadn't thought about that anymore. Shoot, as a teenager, after all of the in-your-face scrutiny, I kind of just went a little silent. I don't really have anything to say. And God takes me back to that moment. And I am forced to recognize that there was fear in my heart towards Him. There was resentment in my heart towards Him. There was, honestly, I could go as far as say, like, there was anger there. There was disappointment. All of these emotions were present. Like, if I'm being frank, I got an ass whooping because of you, Lord. Every time I dozed off in that church, like Sunday came. Sunday they woke us up early. I'm a night owl, Lord. Like, and you know this. Uh, but God forced me to look back at that and really evaluate what it meant to fear him. So when people contemporary day and age say, oh, I want a God-fearing man, I want a woman, that fear God, what do you mean by that actually? Because I'm going to take that personally. Fearing God isn't about fearing who God is. Like, God is our creator. God is almighty. God is very, very powerful, the source of the universe. But we shouldn't fear him. It's not him that we should be fearing at all. We fear the consequences of not doing what God told us to do. We should fear the fact that if we don't do what we're supposed to do, that we essentially fail. We fail at what we were created to do. Imagine you are an inventor and you made the pencil so it can write, people can draft stories, write books, draw images. But that pencil never did it. Like, it got the eraser part, it got the little pointy part, it got everything it needs to write, but it never writes. It never draws the line. Think about the sentiment that comes with failure. Failure to reach purpose. And not because you did not try. That's the thing. Because if you try, you win. If you try, you overcome. If you put your faith in God and God backs you up, you win. So you don't fail because you're incapable. You fail because you don't, or you won't, or you make excuses. You shouldn't fear God. You should fear missing the mark. You should fear missing out on the life that he created for you to live. Imagine that. Imagine that God gives you everything that you need to succeed. He gives you 87 years to complete that assignment. And you don't do it. Imagine making it to God, saying, hey, this is what I did with the time, the tools, the access, the resources. This is what I did with it. And God tells you, you didn't do what he told you to do. You're the creation. And you didn't do it. Because that's what it's going to boil down to. You just didn't do it. Imagine that. Imagine an emotional distress knowing that you failed. And I know that sounds harsh, but that's what it is. Fearing God himself, that isn't it. God loves us. God truly, undoubtedly loves each and every one of us. And even though the love series is completed, I do question if some of us love him back. Because if we did, we will dedicate ourselves to purpose. If we did, we would not make excuses for why we aren't doing what we're supposed to do in this life. If we truly did, we wouldn't be trying to weigh sins and compare mistakes, saying, hey, think that I'm going to get to heaven? People living lives that they do not enjoy, that they absolutely hate, in hopes to get to heaven. Like, God doesn't know that you're trying to play this as like a math game. So in short, fearing God isn't fearing who God is. It's fearing disappointing yourself. Because when you meet God, you're going to have to evaluate everything that you did in this lifetime. When you see every opportunity you missed, every opportunity you just let go, every time you were lazy, every time you made an excuse for why you wasn't doing anything, every single disappointment will make you look at you. You did that. You failed. You rejected me. You didn't decide to heal. He gives us a task. Your responsibility is to break this generational curse. You are the person that I assigned to this job. And guess what? You can do it too. Imagine looking God dead in his face and say, I just didn't want to. Because that's what you're saying when you make excuses for not living on purpose. When you say, oh, I'll get to it tomorrow. And 4 years and went down the line. 14 gone. 40 is here. God gives us the power, the direction, the tools. He even protects us from the enemy, and you still miss the mark. You did not heal. You did not break generational curses. You did not reconcile with your family members or your friends. You did not grow. You did not evolve. You refused to love. God doesn't give us a spirit of fear. So why would we fear him? Right? That was just something. And I don't know if anybody has this same, like, if they mind processed it like that, but mine did. As the person that I am today. But that's how I saw God. So that fear that was just slowly dropped into my spirit caused me to kind of navigate life without him for a while. And although I am a protected person, I went around not acknowledging him. I went around thinking he wasn't present during my roughest moments, during times where I needed him. I view God as a stranger. Matter of fact, I view God as a distant stranger. I can barely see you. You know, I didn't believe in him being omnipresent. I didn't believe in him covering me because, God, I was feeling pain. I was feeling betrayal. I was feeling abandoned. Where were you? I was checking for you. Right? So before my healing, and honestly, during my healing, God not only made me revisit when that fear started getting dropped into my spirit, but he also took me down memory lane. And all those emotions that I were feeling, pain, guilt, just sadness or whatever it was, anything that broke my heart in the past, anything that I went through that I was holding in my heart towards him, he took me down memory lane and showed me where he was. That was the most beautiful part of my spiritual journey. I literally went through my life with him. And not saying that God will do that for everybody. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying whatever you need from him to get through or to understand or to make that relationship, he will give to you. Like, the church did not do a good job. And I'm not going to spend any time on that, but the church did not do a good job when it came to the last 3 generations. Somewhere down the line, the church failed. And what we're seeing today is that we're revisiting the concepts. We're reconstructing how our relationships with God should be. And on your journey back home or journey back to God, remember that you literally have the source of energy, the source of power within you. You don't need anybody to confirm or to point in the direction for you. Ask God. That's the only voice you should be listening to. Anyways, I'm not going to leave you guys without a quote of the day today. So this one, the quote of the day: those who truly love us never leave us alone with our grief. Those who truly love us never, ever, ever leave us alone with our grief. Grief is an emotion that's composed of a whole bunch of emotions to make grief. You got so many emotions that's circulating, right? Those who love us will never leave us alone with it. Distress, anger, resentment, sadness, guilt, shame, all of that is composed in grief. So those who love us never leave us alone with it. And those who we love back, we shouldn't leave alone with theirs either. If you love yourself, or if you're loving on somebody else, make sure that you are trying your best to live on purpose and go towards God. If you love them enough, make sure that you're holding them accountable towards purpose and directing them back towards their source. That is what we are supposed to do. Thank you all for watching the Misreception podcast. As always, like, comment, subscribe, share if you care. I am so happy and proud of everybody that watches these videos and pull and extract things from it. Bye, guys.